Hi, welcome to class. Margaret Maloney here. I get to be your instructor for our Leadership in the Human Element class. We're going to work together through our online classroom. In fact, if you're seeing this, you've already found your way into the online classroom, so way to go. Now, in our class, you'll have audio files and videos and podcasts. Sometimes me, sometimes I'm going to bring in other resources to talk about topics. Discussion forums are important. You're going to be asked to express an opinion or share some information and interact with others. A tip about discussion forums. Sometimes in an online classroom, it can be, I think, overwhelming. Because you think, okay, I have to post something and then I have to reply to someone else. And who are these people? Something you might consider doing is following maybe 3 or 4 of your classmates. And it doesn't mean you ignore everyone else, but that you purposefully interact with these 3 or 4 people. And what that does is it creates a situation similar to if you were sitting in a classroom together physically, and these would be the people sitting around you. Those are the people you're more likely to talk to, right? So consider interacting with 3 or 4 people on a regular basis to kind of create that, and then it will help strengthen some of your online relationships. When I take a class, I want to know, what do you really expect from me? Like, what's really going to happen? So, discussion forums, make sure you contribute when we have one. Make sure you post your thoughts. Make sure you interact with at least one other person. You will also write a leadership essay. And what you're going to do is you're going to observe someone. Now, this person could be a public figure. They could be someone you know from work or home, someone from the past, someone from the present. I've seen people use fictional characters and do a great job writing about a fictional character. And what you're writing about is your observations about them as a leader. And what you're going to look at is some of the things we're going to consider here in class, like communication style, leadership style, conflict resolution style, how they negotiate. And you are going to write about that leader and about some of those aspects of their leadership. And do you think they were successful or not? And what's really important is to make sure that you use examples. And so you don't say, I think leader A was good. Why? And then cite some examples. And now, super important, if you choose a historical figure, that's great. Don't write a history lesson. You can give a little bit of a background of context of who is this person, but talk about what they did. And if you're looking through history or you're reading biographies, pull out real examples of what they did. And then, of course, cite your sources. Okay? You're going to look at 2 case studies, read them and answer some questions. Yes, there's a midterm and a final, and each midterm and final is 20 points, 20 questions. You're going to do a great job. What I really, really recommend is get into our syllabus, because that's our map, and that tells you what to expect and when. Our online classroom is also designed in modules. Each module represents a week, and so each module is like a little capsule, and it says what you're doing that week and gives you, where to point to all the materials. But it's still good to look at that syllabus and go through it to get that high level, what happens when. I will frequently give you a heads up of something that's coming up. For example, your first case study is going to come the 4th week of class, but I actually post it in the 3rd week and the 4th week. But this way I'm trying to give you that 1 week in advance notice, because after all, some of you are project managers. So you want to plan your time in ahead of time, your work in advance. So that's what I'm trying to do. There's something I really ask you to do. As you take this course, please be introspective. By introspective, I don't mean keeping to yourself and keeping quiet. I mean take in the information and consider it in terms of yourself and who you want to be as a leader. So for example, the week that we talk about conflict resolution, I really want you to consider the materials, take a good look at yourself and think about how you act when there's a conflict, and then decide, is the way you act when there's a conflict, is that serving you as a leader? Do you feel like that represents the best leader that you can be? And if the answer is yes, right on, keep doing it. If you find the answers not so much, then I'm asking you to really think about what steps will you take to be who you want to be. And so when I say, please be introspective in this class, I'm really asking you to think about, who are you now? Who do you want to be? And how will you get there? Because the truth is, of course you're going to do a good job in class. And everyone should be able to do well in terms of like the academic aspect of a leadership class. And sure, we talk about theories and ideas, but the point is to take those theory and ideas out, away from the online world, to the real world, And the real test is how you lead in the real world. And so my hope for you is that when you are introspective in this class, then as you go through class, you will strengthen your leadership toolkit. And that's my wish for you.